Hey guys, my name is Jacqueline Cassell. You may know me here on YouTube as Jackie Cass 1. I've been posting drum covers here on YouTube since I was 14 years old, and the one thing that was missing when I got started was an easy to understand how-to video on how to record and post drum covers. So in this 4-part series, I'm going to be showing you my kit setup, my mic setup, how I record the audio, film the video, how I put everything together and post it on the internet. So let's get started. As most of you know, I've been playing SJC Custom Drums for about 12 years now. If you remember my first kit from SJC, it was a 4-piece kit. Maybe some silver sparkle and some neon stars are ringing a bell. Yeah, that kit. With this kit, I kind of felt like I wanted to branch out a little bit, and so I went with a 5-piece kit, which I absolutely love. And plus, if I want to make it into a 4-piece, it's interchangeable. I can just take off a rack tom. Let's start with my toms. I have a 7x10 rack tom, which I absolutely love, an 8x12, a 14x16 floor tom, and an 18x20 kick. This kit is wrapped with a zebrawood veneer with a diagonal purple oyster inlay lined with a silver sparkle stripe. When I was designing this kit, I really wanted it to be a classy kit, which I think I totally accomplished, but I also wanted to be a little bit reminiscent of that first silver sparkle kit that I had, hence the silver sparkle inlay around that beautiful purple oyster. Speaking of classy, I went with brass hardware. I've loved brass hardware since I started putting it on the snare that I currently use, and there was no turning back. On this kit, I went with mini tube lugs inline. I also got some custom-made wood badges on the kick drum. If you look real closely at these logos, you can see how much detail work went into making this piece of art. All right, let's talk about my snare real quick. That snare is 8x13. My first snare from SJC was 12, and my next one after that was 14, so I thought, I'll just pick a middle ground, and I love actually having a 13, except when I go buy heads, sometimes I still buy 14 because I just don't think. But this snare is also wrapped in zebra wood, also has brass hardware on it, and also has custom wooden badges on it as well. Let's talk about heads really quick. This isn't really a topic that I nerd out about a lot, so I'm just gonna go over it quickly. I've always used Remo, so on my toms I have clear Remo ambassador heads. On my snare I currently have a controlled sound coated dot, but I love the way that this snare head sounds, and I haven't broken one yet, so that's usually a good sign. One thing I forgot to mention is my side snare that I have. It's a Pearl Modern Utility 7x12 snare, and it's just something I have on the side. I don't use it as much as all my other drums on my kit, but it's nice to have it sometimes if you're looking for a different snare sound from your main snare that you can switch off to here and there. Alright, so now that we've gone over some details of the kit and a little bit about the heads, let's talk about cymbals. I currently play Mino cymbals and I absolutely love my setup now more than ever. Let's start with the hi-hats. I love these hi-hats. They are the crispiest things I've ever played in my life. The first time I ever heard them was when Mike Johnston played them. If you don't know Mike Johnston, check him out. He also has a really good video on how to record with only 2 microphones, or it might only be 1. Maybe it's 2. Go check it out either way. He has some really great tutorials. Love that guy. These hi-hats are 14-inch Byzance medium extra dry hi-hats, and they are incredible. Directly above the hi-hat is a Mino Byzance 19-inch medium thin crash. I really like this crash. I used to play a 16-inch thin sand crash, and it was a little bit too thin for me, so I did an awesome cymbal trade with one of my friends and got this awesome 19-inch medium thin crash. Directly to the right of that is my absolute favorite crash, even though I feel like I've been saying that for every single crash I've talked about so far. This is a 20-inch extra thin hammered crash, and I think that there might be a small crack in it. And if that's true, I'm literally just going to go buy the same cymbal once it's totally non-playable. Directly below that is, speaking of Mike Johnston, it is the Byzance 21-inch transition ride. I love this ride because it's transitional. So you can use it as a ride, or you can crash on it a little bit and use it as a ride crash. To the right of that is my newest addition to my cymbal setup, the Thomas Lang 18-inch Super Stack. I love Thomas Lang. I met him when I went to NAMM for the first time. I think I was 16. It's got a fun sound, and it's easy to add some interesting accents to parts of your playing with it. So that's my cymbal setup, and now we can talk about hardware. I'm the worst about talking about hardware because I kind of just buy whatever works. I mean, I do have, for my kick, a DW9000. That is the nicest piece of hardware on this whole kit, which rightfully so. I mean, it is a really nice piece of hardware. But what I'm trying to say is, for the rest of the stuff, I have mixed match hardware. This stacker is being held by a really old PDP hardware stand. It holds the cymbal, and that's really all we're looking for right now. As far as the hardware that's holding up the two crashes with the toms, it looks like I splurged and got some Tama stands. Tama, still don't know how to say it. It's fine. My hi-hat stand is an old Gibraltar hi-hat stand that I got many, many years ago, and I just have never replaced it because I have no reason to, because, well, it still works. So if it works, why replace it, right? My cymbals work well, they're not falling over. Sounds good. Now, I know this is a really large kit. I know there's a lot going on. Don't be intimidated and don't think you have to go out and buy a kit like this one. This is a kit that I dreamed of having for a really long time, and honestly, this is a kit I will probably have for the rest of my life. So this is a lifelong investment. However, I didn't need this kit necessarily to start posting drum covers. In fact, I didn't. My first drum set was I don't even think they make it anymore. It's a Pulse 4-piece drum set. It sounded absolutely terrible. I put new heads on it, or tried to. It just was a really bad time. But hey, we gotta all start somewhere, right? So I wanna encourage you to take whatever you have right now for a drum set. Maybe you haven't even purchased a drum set, but start basic and learn all the basics at the same time. Take it from me, you can buy all the newest gear that comes out on the market, but if you're not practicing and putting time into your craft, the cymbals and the drums aren't going to play themselves. All right, guys, so there you have it. There's my kit setup. The point of this video being the first one is I want to be totally transparent in this process. I want to show you pretty much everything I can, so there's no secrets here. I'm showing you exactly my setup, and then in the next video, I'm going to dive into microphones, all of my electronics, what I edit in, and then the video after that, we're going to dive in how to record, and then last video, I'm going to show you how I film and how I edit my videos together. So grab all your gear and get ready, and tune into the next episode, and I hope to see you there. Thanks, guys.